Good, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Famine Studios. I am Famine. Yeah, we're up against the holidays, guys. It has been a busy week for me. I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot going on. It's only Tuesday, and I say only, but we know Tuesdays is when famine gets jiggy on the internet, and we work on some things together. We chat, we share stories, we laugh, we cry. Some of us throw up on the floor. I get barked at by the dogs. The cats yell. It's an amazing time here on Tuesdays. So I wanted to check in on you guys, see how you're doing before we get started. I have a lovely SureBonder mini USB hot glue gun we're going to try out. It looks like it is something that will be good for 118 world building, if not 112 world building as well. Also, you guys know I do prop building and cosplay, so might put that to use with that as well. If you guys are new here, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. It does help out the channel. I appreciate you. And if I see, some regulars sounding off in the chat, please feel free. Always good to see you guys here. Get the conversation started. Eddie, what's happening, baby girl? How you doing this Tuesday? We're going to be busting out this sweet SureBonder mini cordless hot glue gun. So I'm going to let this thing rock and roll here in a minute. Get it opened up. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Bjorn, it's Tuesday. You're going to have to put a recurring calendar. Oof, god damn, that's loud. Put a recurring calendar in your phone, my friend, because Tuesdays are where it's at. Let's see here. What do we got? In the package, we have the gun, the glue gun, the stand, and we've got some instructions. We've got a power cable. Yeah, it truly has been a long week, and it is only Tuesday. Thank you. Yeah, my beard's a mess. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a self-care brush right here. We're gonna get that cat hair off there. We're just gonna give this beard a little bit of love today. Give your beard a little love today if you haven't already. Okay. There we go. That looks a little more respectable, a little more professional. You know how we like to do things here on Famine Studios. So in the package was SureBonder glue with the precision tip. And it's got a little silicone pad here so that when the glue drips down, if at all, it stays on that instead of getting all over your surface, which is awesome. Yeah. Mama Rosie. Hey. Looking in places she never sticks her snout now all of a sudden, so I figure she's up to something. Yeah, you're up to something, Mama Rosie. All right. So I'm making an educated guess that the plug goes in here. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. It's got the custom fucking port for it, so it knows, when you put it in, when you stick it in. We're going to spin on this thing? Or is it only, it only goes so far. Okay. You can only put it in a little bit before it bottoms out. So be aware of that. That's the on-off switch, I imagine. Yep. I could read the instructions. I could. I haven't, but I could. So I guess we'll get that set up there. Before I plug it in, I'm going to do I know men are not supposed to read instructions. I think I saw in a cartoon once, they said men don't read instructions. I am going to read some goddamn instructions here. All right. High temp, detail, cordless, mini-sized glue gun. Bonds to wood, metal, plastic, leather, fabric, ceramic, etc. And then it's got a breakdown of what the things are. We already know what the things are. It's got safety fuses in it. I'm having a week, man. I'm having a week, so I'm trying to avoid that, but I feel you sometimes there. It's got a fuse that shuts off in the event that there's a short. It's got fins on there, so I can leave this thing laying on its side without it burning into the table. Ooh-wee! And the tip's insulated. We love a good insulated tip here. Work environment should be clear, clean. Don't use outdoors or near water. Got it. Don't expose gun to rain or direct sunlight. Got it. Don't give to children. Got it. Don't carry the glue gun by the cord. Operating instructions. Here we go. Those warnings are common sense, I should hope. If you get this, read the warnings. Let's see. Cordless option. Plug the cord. Oh, you can use it as a corded gun as well. So that's cool. That's actually pretty neat. And the trigger is a okay. Pour through the glue gun. Cool. Can be used for cordless for up to 1 minute and then return to the heating stand. Neat. All right, cool. Yeah, that's when I went to the famine reference there is when I went to White Castle that happened, but also like when I get takeout delivered, some of the drivers will do that. They'll be like, I got an order here for famine. I'm like, no, but okay, I'll just take my food. I'm just hungry. I'm not hungry. And you guys can watch me struggle to put it in. Stick my head down here. Here we go. There we are. I want to make sure that it's in there. All right, so that's charging up. And for the sticks, I did not get any Surebonder sticks. I do want to give their cosplay glue that they have a shot because it's not actually traditional glue. It's got resin in it, which apparently holds like better than barge cement, which is what a lot of cosplayers use. They use contact cement for foam. I use a lot of foam. So we'll be giving that a try. But right now, this is my dyed in the wool. Dyed in the wool? That's not what I want to say. My die-hard ride or die. My ride or die hot glue. I'm telling you, it's been a week. Is the Gorilla all-purpose hot glue. This shit is hella strong. It is tough as all get out right here. So. You made me struggle in front of Vanessa. So we're gonna put this thing through its paces today. I got some projects that I'm working on in efforts to get ready for Friday's big show over on the World Makers Consortium. You guys know all about that. That's coming up. And let's get some tunes going here for you guys. World Makers Consortium. We're going to be showing off Pivot in its new and improved transformative state. So I've been chipping away at things here and there, getting things. I did have a tough day. Somebody messaged me and asked. I'm not going to out who it was, but they messaged me and asked. They said, during Monday's Toy Squad, it seemed quiet. I had a family member pass away, and I was informed right before the show, like 2 or 3 minutes before we were going live. So I was just kind of caught off guard. Took some time for bereavement today. Might take some time tomorrow too. I'm not sure. But it hit me a lot harder than I thought it would. So it's good to be here. Good to be amongst friends. I'm glad that you guys tuned in. And I'm glad that we get to laugh and have a little bit of fun. And again, as always, we got the grapefruit seltzer. And seriously, if anybody wants to send me like a case of seltzer, it's like, oh, it's a gag. Thank you. I will drink it. Thank you, Bjorn. It's my Uncle Henry. He was married to my grandpa's sister before she passed away. But he was always really good to me when I was younger. Still good to me when I would see him out. So it's gonna be different not seeing him outside in the, I say in the streets, but we would run into each other all the time. He delivered flowers for my friend's family's floral place, so I would see him all the time. Like if I stopped at Cumberland Farms, or if I was over, if you guys are from upstate New York or New York area, you know about Stewart's. That's like the place. So stop there for coffee or something like that, and or eggnog. Stewart's eggnog, the best. And I'd run into him. So that said, I don't want to dwell too much on it. I do appreciate the condolences and stuff. It's been a tough day, but I'm taking a little time to spend with you guys, have some fun, show off a couple of things I've got going here. I did touch this up the other day. I think we did this on a live together. But my wall sign for the these dogs are interested in something over there. For Boba Fett's contingency here, we want to make sure that people know what it is. I did a yellow gold on the Mythosaur skull. We did a olive drab green. Oh, thanks. I got this shirt. Price. This shirt's probably 5 years old, 6 years old now. When Kenny and I started dating, when we first started seeing each other, I went to her old job, which was Think Geek, and I got it there. All right. I don't know what these dogs are into over there, but they're invested in something. I wonder if there's a bug or something. But if they catch like a lion or something, I'm gonna have them bring the lion over here. So that'll be fun. We'll have 4 animals here. So we've got the glue going on. We've got that heating up. Sorry, Dom from Toy Domination is messaging me, and instead of being professional and waiting to answer, I thought I would just, carry on the conversation twofold here. But yeah, so we got the hot glue gun going. It's heating up. I've got my Gorilla Glue hot glue right here. Sticky. And like I said, this Gorilla Glue hot glue is the best stuff that I use for like hot glue at all. You can get different hot glues. I like, if I'm doing any type of big stuff, and I say big stuff, I mean like cosplay or building where I need a temporary, I consider hot glue a lot of the times a temporary bond because of the nature of hot glue. Whereas a mechanical bond, it's got more purchase and all that, but like hot glue can be a temporary bond until I started using Gorilla Glue hot glue, and that shit grabs. It grabs hold and does not let go. I recently pulled one of Raul's Diorama Accessories pieces that I was using in a different location, and I had to repurpose it. I had to get a pry bar in between the wall and the glue and peel it, and it pulled the sheeting off of the drywall that I had attached it to because I forgot I used Gorilla Glue hot glue instead of regular craft hot glue. I like to use high temperature, and I normally use the big Gorilla Glue Gorilla Glue hot glue gun. It's like this one, but it's bigger. It's for the 1/4-inch sticks that are about 10 feet long. I normally use my dual temp Gorilla hot glue gun, but this tip is not detail designed. It's not swappable like the Surebonders are. So as a heads up, Gorilla Glue hot glue does the job. When I start using Surebonder hot glue, we'll put that through its paces and try. But if you want a tried and true thing, go with that. Let's welcome some people, answer some questions, because it looks like I do see some questions in here. Gorilla Glue, yes, I did use Gorilla Glue, but any hot glue stick would work. Cold temperature or hot temperature glue gun, it'll work. Don't use Elmer's glue or anything like that. That shit takes forever and a day to cure. I've never had success with it. I've seen some people make silicone skin sheets. Sounds weird because it kind of is, but they make a mold, but it's really only like maybe 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, I was just talking to this guy, Sticky. It's maybe 1/8 of an inch thick at most, and it's basically paper layer that they put into a mold, but it's got a skin texture or a road texture, and people will fill it with Mod Podge or Elmer's glue and let it dry over several days and then peel it out like a sheet and lay it over something as a texture, heat it up and sculpt it. But I don't really have a use for that. I've never personally done it. I've only witnessed it firsthand at like props houses or prop projects that I haven't had a hand in. But I do use the Gorilla Glue 99.9% of the time. If I'm in a pinch, somebody did purchase me back when I first started cosplaying, they bought me like a case of regular craft hot glue sticks. So anytime somebody does borrow my hot glue stick or my hot glue gun, when it's not my girlfriend, I go, hey, what are you using it for? Oh, I'm, gluing a couple of things for my kid's school project. I give them some of those glue sticks, that way they get used, but really like the Gorilla Glue ones. And I use those in the molds. So this bad boy is, maybe charging up, I guess. We're going to pop this off here. Let's put a glue stick in and see what happens, right? It says to run 2 sticks through this before you do anything else with it. I imagine that's to, get the gun going, get it doing whatever it's got to do as far as pushing any chemicals or anything that's in there from the assembly out. So we'll get that. All right, so I've showed that off. I've got some stuff that's already up in Gimmick. Like you guys are... Y'all like the puppet show? The dog puppet show in the background?
Welcome to Mama Rosie's Puppet Show. Mama Rosie is digging a hole all the way to the center of the earth. She's working really hard at getting her journey started. Once she finds a sufficient location, she moves on down and becomes one with the platform.
The red light is now on. You guys see this amazing, beautiful lady back there with her big old ears? All right, so I was saying hello to people. Hello, Audi. We already said hey to Red, but we'll do it again. Liam, we already said hi to you. You're here, so we'll say hi again. And I've got your Hanukkah package. I should probably have mailed that before Hanukkah started. But the good news is I got a couple extra things for 112 that are going to get tossed into your baggie of Hanukkah presents. So, consider it 12 days of Christmas instead of 8 crazy nights. That's the best I can do for you. Got some stuff going on in Gimmick. I can give you guys a hint from one of the things this afternoon. I had a little bit of time, and I sat down, and I had it ready for today's show, and I'm a professional, guys. This is what I do. I would one day like to do this for a living. Oh, where the hell did that thing go? There it is. Because today's episode was actually going to be about Signs, not the awesome M. Night Shyamalan movie, which made me terrified to watch anything with a reflection on a TV screen, but Signs as Marla. If I had a tumor in my brain, I'd name it Marla. It's like the scratch on the roof of your mouth that would only heal if you just stopped tonguing it. Sorry, big Fight Club fan here. But yeah, I had a whole thing on signs we were going to do, and one of the things that I had whipped up was this sign. But that's going to be for a little food restaurant in Gimmick. That's just cardstock from the back of a notepad that I cut and trimmed until I made it into what I wanted it to look like. It's two-sided, and it's just got a coating of the Black Magic sauce, which is Mod Podge, matte Mod Podge, and black acrylic paint, just to help seal it in case any of the paint seeps in. It could be about the Liam signs. It could. No, I do, as you guys know, I do various types of signs in Gimmick. This is one of my, quote, metal signs. I back it with the foil tape, punch out holes so it looks like you can see up there, looks like there was once a nail hole in it. Then it just makes it look old. And then I had some medical signs, and I was going to show you guys how to use one of these like this to make a stencil, and use one of these just to make like a hanging sign or a couple of round placards. Had a whole thing, but I mean, we can also do that, but I just thought it would be a cool idea to utilize this new Surebonder hot glue gun that I've got here for a couple of things. One of the things that I'm going to be putting up is I'm starting on a second level in the level of gimmick that you guys are mostly familiar with. So I've got this piece here, and I got some trim from the garage. I've purchased like random pieces of trim here and there, and I thought we could use this to decorate the exterior of a used piece from another location. So I thought, why not put the Surebonder through its paces? We can work on that. And then also I want to put a coating of paper on this. This was a cardboard tube from the inside of, I want to say, aluminum foil or something like that. I painted it. The problem is that the blue I chose makes it look like blue jeans. It looks like denim. Looks like denim. I'm not happy with it. So I'm thinking we can wrap some paper on here, maybe add some extra bands, turn it into something else, because it does. It looks like blue jean, like a blue jean light pole. So we'll work on that, and we'll just see how this hot glue gun works. And maybe if we want to do signs or something, we can also do signs. I'm glad that there are Fight Club fans amongst us. I have the molds to make the soap from Fight Club, and that is something that Kenny and I need. Well, Kenny's got the supplies to make the soap. I just am the guy that's going to be making the Fight Club soap if I can actually do it. So that's something I should probably do. Maybe I'll make a video out of it. I don't know. You guys interested in seeing somebody make a Fight Club soap? Because I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. All right. I won't sell it to rich women, sell them their fat asses back to them, but we'll do some soap. So to get this thing prepped for adhesion, I already started. When I layered this with material, I put some cardstock. You can see the step downs. They're very light, but there's cardstock there. And I'm going to continue it all the way over here, but this is missing a piece of cardstock there. So I want to have full contact to the edge because this edge has full contact. So I'm just going to take a piece of card that's the same thickness. I actually had a piece cut. And again, I started cleaning up before the live. So we'll get another piece of cardstock from somewhere else and place it there with super glue, just so that it's got a fast grab to the material that we're going to be working with today. And we'll go from there. All right, so that's apparently a lot of you guys want to see me do Fight Club soap, so I will consider that over the winter break. Start my own little Paper Street Soap Company branch here at Gimmick Starport. Gonna get a cease and desist from Tyler Durden. All right, let's see. We do have a cardstock chunk right here. I always keep a piece of cardstock handy. And yeah, we'll just cut a piece off. There we go. Might be. That was the answer to that question. I don't know why I just shouted the answer out like a fucking lunatic on a game show. Is it Donald Duck? Is the answer Donald Duck? All right, so we got the, oh, that's the perfect width too. All right, so we'll just cut that. Hell yeah. I'll glue that right in place there. Just a dab of super glue. I'll bring you down. There we go. I'll start telling sad stories and bring you down. I'm not going to do that. But we'll go like that. You can see the drop of super glue is there. Then one thing that I like to do is take the piece that I'm going to glue, drag the glue to the edge real quick, and then slap that on there. Perfect. Give that a little pressure. That lines up perfectly with that. That glue is going to dry in seconds here because it is regular super glue. It's even super glue in name. So, hey, Mickey, how's it going, man? We are making things sticky here in Gimmick. I am gluing shit to other shit, and we're testing out a new tool. I got a Shore Bonder miniature hot glue gun. It's designed to be cordless and also has a precision tip, which is great for this smaller scale stuff. Surebond also has a cosplay glue that I do not have, but I'm going to try out. And apparently it's a resin-based glue and not a regular glue, so that's exciting. Mickey is one of my closest friends. Mickey is the best. Mickey's my brother, let's be honest. And Mickey is a talented fellow cosplayer, a talented fellow maker. I borrowed Mickey's gun when I did Hellboy at Empire Comic-Con. Jesus, that was 4 years ago. And yeah. Hey, Tank, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. You on break or you off tonight? All right. So we pulled that off of there. And we're just going to pump out. We're just going to pump out this glue onto a paper towel. I think that's the best case. Yeah, just push. Okay, that works. That is remarkable. And then the feed is small. We'll get you. I'll bring you guys down again. We'll just. There we go. And it is. It just. Oh, I didn't put that in right. Typical man, doesn't put it in right, misses the hole entirely. And one thing I'm noticing is, despite the temperature of the glue, because this is high temp, it's not yellowed, which my Gorilla Glue hot glue gun does tend to do, but that's, I mean, that fucker's a beast. Like, that's heat, so. And look how quickly that's turning at. So. That's two sticks. And yeah, you can actually see there's a little bit of debris that was in the gun that this glue gun pushed right out. I don't know how well it's going to pick up on the camera, but there is some debris in there. So that whole push 2 sticks of glue through was for a good reason. And I'm glad that I followed the instructions. Look at that, guys. Us men reading an instruction for a change and doing a thing. So I'm going to set this back up here for a second. Let it do its thing. And we'll pull that up. So streaming, hey. Is it on purpose? You are something else. That's why you have children. Well, thank you. What'd you have for dinner? Anything good? I had a chicken pot pie, and I heated up an extra chicken patty cutlet thing, chopped it up, and tossed it in there. See, everybody's on food. All right, so we're just going to take this paper towel of hot glue. Let's be honest, this isn't the weirdest thing I've streamed, but this is pretty weird. You know, paper towel full hot glue. Just stick that together. Mickey's having some chicken too. Barbecue. It's chicken night, apparently. I don't know if it was a local commercial, and you guys can tell me I'm crazy or tell me that I maybe I'm not. I probably am, but there was an old commercial and it had a jingle, and the jingle was, "I feel like chicken tonight." Anybody else remember that? It was like, "I feel like chicken tonight." chicken, didn't I? That was the whole stupid jingle. You had chicken fingers. All right, Eddie's got to be difficult. Slim chickens. Chicken 2, chicken tendies, and fries, baby. Hey, sometimes it works. Okay, so people remember that goddamn commercial. And it looks like Grumpy Puppet is saying it's from Shake and Bake. I feel vindicated. That has been like in my brain for most of my life, and I thought it was maybe just something that I cooked up in my head, because sometimes you do that. I am taking a soft sanding stick, and I'm just cleaning up the edge of this piece of wood trim, just regular wood trim from the hardware store. It's got a profile that's like this, just adds a little detail. And I cut it on my bandsaw down in the basement when I was downstairs cleaning up some water from the flood. I'm glad that thing's up on a rolling cart. That's all I'll say there. All right. Pork, the other white meat. Yep, from the 90s. Okay, so I'm not losing my god. I mean, I'm probably losing my mind. And then I guess we're going to use this trim like this. So we're going to hot glue that on there. And I could cut 45-degree angles and make it all super nice with the other pieces that I have here, but I don't want to. So I'm not going to. But we can dream, right? We can dream. Yeah, I do remember the pork, the other white meat commercials. They were around for quite a while. And it was really weird because I didn't understand what white meat. It's Shake and Bake. Yes. But like, I remember thinking to myself, like, what is white meat? Because not everything had white meat. You know, even like a chicken has dark meat, and just, it never clicked with me as a child. I don't know. I was a weird kid. I still am a weird kid. Gonna go ahead and... Yo, what's happening, 375? Shake and Bake is nice. Shake and Bake does a great job of both shaking and baking. And anytime it gets used, all I can think of is, Ricky Bobby now. Shake and bake. That just happened. That just happened. We'll shake and bake. I'm just over here prepping the surface for adhesion. Pour some more glue because I realized we're going to have to put some more trim on here, which is fine. So I added another piece of stock to match the other one, cardstock, just to have something even for it to grab onto so it doesn't mess with the height, so it looks a little more professional. We try here at Famine Studios. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like it. That and the Fig Newton bit gets me every fucking time I watch that. Boy, this sticker is dangerous and inconvenient, but I sure do love Fig Newtons. And it's just across the windshield every time. Fucking gets me. All right, so we're going to use this Gorilla Glue hot glue. I'm going to run a bead. I'm going to run a bead across here, and then we're going to put this piece of trim on this way because I want the thicker part in the back, so it creates shadows and stuff when the light hits it. From you'll see. You guys know how light works. I'm not a light scientist. I just work here. All right, so here we go. Boy, Famine, could you apply glue any sloppier? Well, if I tried, I could. Thought that said precision tip and not spill it all over the place tip. Why don't you mind your business? Mysterious person inside my head saying these things as I work. Okay. Well, like I said, we're just going to drop that on there. Let that bite into that hot glue. Any squeeze out, I will be a very brave boy and push it with my fingy and try not to get burned. But there we go. We'll put that back on the heater. Now this Gorilla Glue hot glue tends to set up pretty quick, and it does have a great hold. So what I'm going to do now, as this is curing, I'll turn it this way, I guess, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Is I'm just going to make a slice here where the glue is seeping out, and that lets me pull it without pulling extra glue out. There we go. I'll do the same over here. Make a nice little cut. And this isn't super important. It's just me being me, wanting to clean that up. So you see where my fingers are here, holding that. That fucker ain't going nowhere. So that's on there. So I already like this thing. I like that it's cordless. I don't have a cord that gets in the way. So that is fun. I think what I'll do is we'll clean up these other pieces here. Yep, it's going to be a walkway or a balcony. Haven't quite dedicated the thought of specifically what it's going to be, but that's one of the. It will be something that's elevated as a second level. Okay. Like I said, I could be super precious about this. Could be. Wouldn't it be funny? Nice. We love a good saw. Is it a hobby saw, or are you getting like a full table saw, coping saw, band saw, jigsaw? What do you got? Since we're on the topic of tools. I like using this for small wood things. It just goes through quick, does a clean job, leaves a clean cut. It's just more for smaller hobby pieces of wood than it is for anything large. I wouldn't use this to try and cut like a 2x4. You know, unless for some bizarre fucking... Mama Rosie was out like a light just a second ago. Handheld electric circ saw. Okay. Bjorn, you could store them in your pocket. Just walk around with like a bandsaw in your cargo shorts. And now I'm just gonna measure up the second one, cut that, sand that up nicely, and we'll attach these two. Cool. She's watching. Mama Rosie's often watching, huh, Mama Rosie? Cowman. Come to see why I'm saying your mom's name over and over again? Like, he might have food for me. I don't know. He might have food for her. I should go out there and check. Come on. Is that what you were thinking? He's a good boy. Well, Bjorn, I didn't throw it. I said you could keep like a bandsaw or a jigsaw in your cargo shorts, like in the pockets. This way it's always on you. You don't have to worry about storing it. And then when somebody gives you a hard time, you whip out, a whole fucking circular saw or something. You always keep that motherfucking thing on you. And again, just a soft sanding stick. And I'm just cleaning up the sawed ends. Give that a quick pass over. But not a quick pass over. And we will glue this on here in about 2 seconds. This side does need some cross-hatching for adhesion, just for my sake, into that card. And when I say cross-hatching, I guess I should show you what I do. Is I'm just into the cardstock. I'm just cutting lines one way. And then I come back and go the other way. And all that does is creating little micro, I say micro, you can clearly see them, but it's creating little gaps on the surface, which are great for the glue to grab onto and give surface tension and texture and tooth, as it's called in the painting world. Give it some purchase is another great phrase that I've heard people use to describe this process. So just wanted to do that. And then we'll take this Sure Bonder and we'll, like I said, we run the bead. We take our piece and we just place it up to the ledge. Press it down. Sir, she was sleeping there first. She's allowed to lay there. That's also her pillow. Wow, you're a punk, cowman, sir. Little prince. Gotta go and chase your mom off your seat. She gave puppy birth to you, sir. And there we have it. And like I said, I could have done 45-degree angles, but I just couldn't be asked to do it right now. Maybe in the future if I ever need to change it, but that's glued on there. That's being held by the glue. That's me shaking it. But now we've got a balcony. And so let's get this prepped up for some new paint on here. Yes, that is, I'm going to star that. That's one that we should always go by. And yeah. Let's see here. If you do want to contribute to the channel, as always, liking and subscribing are the best ways to do it currently. Also, you can go to ko-fi.com/Famine Studios and you can donate that way. The cost of a cup of coffee, that helps the channel. It truly does. If you want something for your donation, that also helps the channel. I do have Famine Studios Jackalope stickers. I know somebody else got theirs yesterday, so they are coming through. I think it's honestly just the slowness of the postal service around the holiday. And I did send them standard through the mail because they're not a giant package or anything. They're these flat pack stickers. So just be aware if you have them, they're coming. They're just holiday season approaches. I do have more that I will certainly be sending out. If you guys order them from me, you can reach out to me and get my PayPal, or you can use the Ko-Fi and just donate $5. leave your address in the private comment, and I will make sure that they get out to you. Another way you can do it is I have a book. The link is actually in the description. I put it there ahead of time today. Tales of the Undead. I carry it on Amazon. It's written by me. It's a collection of short horror stories, all zombie themed. Or you can reach out to me and I can send you an autographed copy, $10 shipped across the board. So there's that. Got that out of the way. And as always, that like and subscribe always helps. And if you guys are here and you haven't liked this video already, do me a favor and just go ahead and hit that. Thank you. They're my favorite thing to write about currently. And I say currently because there's always the opportunity that, you know, I may find something else that I like to write about, but zombies do it for me, man. They're a really gross but cool. I'm just trimming off this old glue deposit here. They're a really gross but true comparison to us as consumers, as human beings in society. We live in a society in the world today, and yeah. Plus, they're fun. They're fucking rotting corpses that just are relentless. You guys hear Cal? He's barking. This dude chased his mom off of that pillow back there. You see the empty pillow that's right there. Now he's down there yelling at his brother, who's sleeping in the dog bed in the crate, to move out of that. Cal, man, you're bullying. It's not nice, buddy. I did not get to watch Train to Busan. I've heard good things about that. It's just I haven't even gotten there. There is zombie smut. I don't know that it constitutes as smut, but one that I read in a collection of short horror stories, short zombie horror stories specifically, was one about, basically it was a society after a zombie apocalypse, and there were undead. Basically, you could rent an undead person for whatever you wanted, be that sex work or, you know, take out aggression from the workday and everything. And there was a whole series where people thought that they were just like, you know, ghouls that were left over from a different world that, you know, people had grown. No, it turns out some of them were recently deceased, and while performing certain activities, their memories would all come back, but it was only during then. And it was a whole thing. It was a really weird story. It was in a collection of short zombie stories, and I say short stories, they were like, you know, 2 or 3 chapters each, probably, you know, 50 to 100 pages each. And the reason that I purchased the book in the first place was because there was a new Max Brooks World War Z universe zombie story in there. So I tend to do that when I get a book. I'll read all of it, and yeah, that was in there. That was a whole thing. And then the guy was like torn between the moral obligation to help this zombie catches, you know, or at least acknowledge who killed them so that this guy can turn them in. And it was a whole fucking thing. No pun intended. But yeah, that exists. So we've got this. Let's get this sanded a little bit. I'm not going to go too aggressive with the sanding. Number 1, because the pets are in here. Number 2, just because I don't want to clean it up. And number 3, because it's going to be a walkway where people walk. Patient 0, let me know who the author is. I'm a little bit better at that because there's so much post-apocalyptic fiction out there that I read or used to read. Once we started going through a actual pandemic, it became a little tougher to spend time reading those types of books. Still easy to write, you know, I say easy, still something that I was able to do. But sitting down and reading about that, and, you know, knowing how people are now, like, I'm genuinely convinced if we had a zombie apocalypse today, there would be people standing outside marching, screaming about undead rights and, you know, not believing it and thinking that it's a hoax. And it's actually one of the plot points of my one of my plot points in my book is that people are out there going, let my family member out of the hospital, get them out of these chains. They're not actually sick. You don't know what you're talking about. It's made up, because very realistic. There we go. That's got some texture now for some paint. So let's get some, I'm not too worried about putting a Mod Podge protective coat on this right now, because it will get Mod Podge over the flooring, whatever material I put on. So we're just going to do black. Yeah, is that the one where the guy basically gets he can understand them? So he's trying to find a cure, or he's being coaxed into trying to find a cure because he can understand them. Yeah, we'll do a black coat first, and then we'll do gray. Well, it's funny. I'm these days not what you would call a prepper. I think that's been taken and run with to a really weird place. People went from, you're a prepper, you're prepared for disaster, to like basically some of these folks treat it as a fan fiction on their weird little fantasies of what horrible things they'll get to do when there's no lawlessness, when there is lawlessness. So I don't lean that way, but I've always thought if you prepare for anything, prepare for a zombie apocalypse. And that's one of the things I used to teach with Zombie Squad. We do it a little tongue in cheek, because it is, the chances of a zombie apocalypse are nil, but the chances of your power going out for a week because you got a really bad storm, pretty good chance of that. And there's a pretty good chance of that. So if you're prepared for zombies and you've got your batteries and your rechargeable things all set up, then when your power goes out, that's small potatoes. That's nothing. So we'd use the allegory of zombie apocalypse to teach about disaster preparedness. Yeah. Yep. And I'm not about that life. Like, there's a place to learn that stuff, and it's just not for me. And I do think everybody should have a bug out bag, just in case, or keep an emergency bag in your car with, a bottle of water, even if it gets frozen, a candle, an emergency radio. I keep those things in my vehicles. I've got one squirreled in my grandmother's car. I don't even think she knows it's there, but for disasters, because, that shit can happen at any time. There's a lot that can happen. A lot can go wrong in this world, and being prepared doesn't hurt, But yeah, I don't consider myself a prepper anymore because of the connotations of those people with the they've turned it into this weird little survivalist nut job fantasy. They went from those militias, and I use that term loosely because what a lot of the South was calling militias were just boys clubs where they rig traps in the woods. But yeah, I always prepped with the idea in my head that it's easier to feed somebody and take care of them than it is to do the opposite of that and, have them try and do the exact same thing to you. So love thy neighbor, as it were. I used to be a little excessive with it. I can admit that. Like, I had a get home bag, I had an E&E bag. I do have a field trauma kit in the back of my car. It does need some stuff that's expired replaced, but as well as I do, a sealed thing that's expired isn't exactly expired. So, but I used to be a little excessive with it. Like I said, having several bags, but over the years of just testing the equipment that's actually in there, because I did love to camp. I still do. Don't get to do it nearly as much as I want to, but like trying out new equipment and all that stuff. I'm bad for that. I will just forget to get gas, and I'm not like I've run out of gas once in my life. But like I'll just be like, oh, I'll get gas tomorrow, or I'll make sure I get gas the next time. But with all the gas issues. Yeah. Beautiful mountains. Most of what I've done has been the Adirondacks and the Catskills. A little bit of the Berkshires, but mostly the Dax, the Adirondacks, and the Catskills. I would love to get out to like Colorado, Utah, and do some camping out there, out that way. West Virginia. And plus, I just like, the excuse to sit around a campfire and shoot the shit, have a beverage, be it adult or otherwise, and enjoy life. The Appalachian Trail? Yeah. I might be in Virginia for a weekend, Eddie, in January. It's a big might right now, but possibility. Part of the Appalachian Trail runs through, if I'm not mistaken, it runs through Albany. Yeah, if I get through Virginia, I'll let you know. There's a lot up in the air right now. Excuse me, as far as when my time off will be versus how much I have off and what I'm going to be doing and who I'm going to be seeing. But if I get your way, I'll surely let you know. Riding the old four-wheeler. I don't like to. That's the thing, is I see plenty of people do this, and it's more power to people if they want to, but I'm just like always so weary about people boozing and machining. I was at a party for someone who would turn into one of my managers later in life, which was weird. But I was at their party, and one of their friends was schlitzed and got on the dirt bike, was ripping around trying to show off for the women, and absolutely ate shit on his bike. And I was the only sober person there. So I go and get my medical bag from the car, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, are you an EMT?" I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just somebody who, knows that you shouldn't fucking not have one of these in your car. And, cleaned him up, picked the gravel out of his back. He refused to take an ambulance, refused to go to the hospital, but he had pieces of gravel in his back. Cleaned him up, made sure I slapped some alcohol in there just out of spite and sent him on his way. And he turned out all right. He did everything, but it's like, it's good to have that type of stuff there, but also like, just fucking riding around, boozing and four-wheeling or boozing and dirt biking and shit, just not for me. If I have more than one drink at dinner time, I'll give my keys to somebody else unless I know I'm going to have a couple hours to get rid of that alcohol in my system. Yeah, there's a right way and a wrong way. And unfortunately, even up in the Adirondacks, we've seen the wrong way. Our first group winter camping trip, me and a bunch of my buddies who we all went camping, winter camping together one time. And we've all been friends ever since, like diehard best men in weddings, like that type of, one of them officiated a friend's wedding out of the group for us. Like we're close with everybody. And, we were on our first winter camping trip, and the Rangers came through the following day because we had seen like fire trucks and all this other shit. And they said, "Hey, what'd you see last night?" We, so what do you mean? And they're like, "Well, there was the big commotion last night. You guys were here. We saw the tents and stuff." And we're like, "Oh, we saw the emergency vehicles." And they're like, "Did you see any 4-wheelers or snowmobiles or anything?" We had heard some sleds running through. And just around 7 o'clock, we had heard some sleds. That's about it. And then all the fire trucks and shit came through late at night. We figured maybe, somebody fell through the ice. Nah, dude was drunk out snowmobiling with his buddies and decapitated himself with a tree limb. So, eh. You used GoPuff and Uber Eats. Roughing it. I got you. Yep. Yeah, it was not good. But they just wanted to know if we'd actually seen the vehicle for the reporting and stuff. We hadn't. We didn't see. We just heard them. But it's the Adirondacks in the winter. If you don't hear sleds at night, it's weird. People use them to get to and from their camps, their ice fishing camps and shit like that. But since then, between that and knowing somebody who, watching somebody dump the fucking dirt bike and fill their back with gravel, which could have been way worse, I've always just no boozing and driving for me. I did it one time because I didn't realize how strong the alcohol was. I got about halfway home and knew the staff at a local Dunkin' Donuts at the time, stopped at Dunkin' Donuts, walked in there, gave them my keys behind the counter. I was like, hold on to these, give me black coffee, water, and bagels. And I sat there for, 3 hours, 4 hours, sobering up because I just had no idea until I got out in the car and started driving. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, never fucking again. So I'll sooner call a ride. I'd call my worst enemy for a ride before I'd booze and get behind the wheel of any vehicle. Eddie, I'm going to screenshot this. I'm going to make this into a postcard and I'm going to mail it to you. Unbelievable. Bears have belly buttons. Oh, yeah, no, thank you. Number one, just no. Number two, I'm not built for prison, so. Like, one of my goals is to A, never be arrested, and B, if I possibly can, never involve myself with anything with the police ever, so. Not drinking and driving helps me toward that goal immensely. I don't want to wind up having to run the yard. Got to make a shank. I got to tie up with a gang, which I think is the stupidest fucking thing in the world in prison, specifically because of the gangs in prison. But I digress. I think I'm going to put a piece of cardboard. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a piece of card on here on the end just because that wood grain is really obvious and I don't want that there. I don't want to see that. So Yeah. It's just I had family. I had family who did a bid of 25 years and multiple smaller stints, and just being a visitor in prison when you go to visit somebody in the prison is just a fucking nightmare. So I don't want anything to do with being an inmate as well. Tried to tickle a bear. That's how we lost him. No, that's not an innuendo either. He actually tried to wrestle a bear to the ground and tickle its belly button. Yeah, no, his last words were, "Famine can have all my toys." I thought that was weird. I would have yelled out, like, "Help me. Don't let this bear eat me. I've made a grave mistake." But no, Eddie just yelled out, "Let Famine have my stuff." And that was it. So. Yep. Because they treat you like you are one of the people that's locked up there as well. But those are stories for another time. I'll have to do a live stream where I just sit here and, drink whiskey and smoke a cigar, and I just tell fucking terrible tales. The paint's still wet, and I'm just over here raw dogging this thing. So, we do got the holidays coming up. Christmas is on a Monday. Day after Christmas, obviously on a Tuesday. What is that something that you guys are still going to want to do? Is my normal Tuesday slot? I know we've got a lot of regulars here. We've got some people that are new. If you're new, subscribe. But if you're one of my regulars and you guys have an opinion, are you going to tune in the day after Christmas, or are you going to be busy with family stuff? Like, I don't know the... I don't know, like, do YouTubers, I know YouTubers will sometimes take time off, and they'll take like 4 weeks off and just like not produce content during those 4 weeks, which is like cool, I guess, but also give me something to watch, please. The decorum, I guess, is the word I'm looking for taking that much time off during the holidays, or if you guys are going to tune in, I don't know. Because I know I have to work day after Christmas. They ain't give us nothing. Christmas Eve off. Some companies, they give you the day before the Christmas Eve break or whatever for Christmas Eve holiday. We ain't getting jack or shit. We got told you got to be there day after Christmas. The other thing too is I could always set up the stream and pop in, run for about an hour if nobody's here. We'll just have a video that you guys can watch at a later time. But I do like engaging with you. It's one of the main reasons that I do these. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's still too tall. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Guess I could have just done that. What's up, Timbo? Thank you for stopping in. Hit that like button on your way out, my friend, if you do drop off. Working Saturday, Midnight Madness sale. On Christmas Eve? Yeah. Or the day before Christmas Eve? I don't know. Game time decision. Yeah. Like I said, I may, just do an hour show, chat up the holiday or whatever, chat about the day. And then the footage will be there if y'all want to catch the replay, as it were. But I thought I would ask because, again, I don't know what the decorum is for that. Like, Christmas isn't super serial in my house. I know some families it is. Like, they're very much like, you know, the day after Christmas is, you know, when we go to Grim Graham's house and do holiday stuff there, and you can't, you know, do anything but holiday stuff. So figured I'd ask. All right, we're gonna do super glue on here just because, again, I want that tight rock hard bond. Oh, that's really cool. That's really awesome. Nice. Yeah. Same with my grandpa being gone. We do less big gatherings and you know, holiday gatherings, which is fine because I stopped going to the family Christmas party quite a few years ago just because it seemed like all the old people have no they're not clued in to the way the world works. And so if you go there once with a partner, which I did one time, I went there with a girl I was seeing and she brought her kid along, and then she and I split up, and we had been together for a couple of years. So it wasn't like I just dropped in, but like we had split up, and then everybody just kept asking, you know, like, oh, where's so-and-so? You know, how's your boy doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, we split up. And then, you know, next person would ask, where's so-and-so? Blah, blah, blah. And it became like having to repeat that. And then every year, for I think 2 years before I finally said, all right, to hell with this, they kept asking. One of them even invited her when we weren't seeing each other. I was like, no. So, yeah. So I stopped going. But like, as far as once my grandfather passed, doing the holiday thing got a little less critical for everybody. And for me, we go to, my best friend and I and a couple others, we would go out for sushi on Christmas and we'd watch a movie in the theater. But she has since moved. And it's a bit of a drive to go to do that. So this year, I have no idea what Christmas holds. I'm sure I will see my girlfriend and family on that end, hopefully. You know, but I know Christmas is a big deal for a lot of people. I dropped off a couple of toys to Toys for Tots back when they had the bins out. If you can find a place that's still doing toy drive collection, or check your local Facebook groups. There are some Facebook groups that are putting out a plea for help because there wasn't a lot this year. And I understand everybody's struggling, but you know, if we are buying new toys and stuff, maybe think about grabbing one, you know, something extra for a kid that might not have, and help out this holiday season. There was a time when I lived in a homeless shelter, and the only way that I had Christmas was through donations from strangers. So always try and do that. At least one thing. Yeah, no, it really was. Like, she saw me and told me, and I was like, yeah, I don't fucking know why. But you're right, that is an awkward invitation. Like, hey, we know you're not seeing this person, but come to the family party anyway. We had such a good time with you the last time. But I digress. I'm going to use these. I'm going to keep these pieces. I think I'm going to use them for like posts, to hold posts up on the ends, but I'll set those aside. You know me, I don't like to waste not, want not. Yeah, I couldn't imagine having the moxie to do so. But, you know, some people just don't get it. They think that type of stuff is perfectly acceptable. And why wouldn't you? Why, it's the holidays. And blah, blah, maybe you two will get back. And the other thing, too, is a lot of my family work for the railroad. And during the holiday parties, they would constantly talk about, bitch, moan, and complain about the railroad. And then have the audacity to ask me when I was going to start working at the railroad. If I got to listen to you every Christmas, every year of my life, complain about working at the railroad, how you're always tired, blah, blah, blah. I don't care how much money you have. That sounds miserable. And I don't want to be part of it. And yeah, I was just like, these folks aren't, they aren't listening to what I'm, telling them, that I don't want a part of that, don't want to be a part of that. So I just called an audible and stopped going. And I do my own thing Christmas Eve usually. I watch It's a Wonderful Life. And I have Chinese food from the local takeout place, and I wrap my Christmas presents, and it's really enjoyable. Bjorn, you can go work on the railroad all the live long day. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Mama Rosie. Would you like to say hello? Oh, Mama Rosie. Oh, dear Rosie. Hello. Oh, come say hi. Oh, come say hi to everybody. Say hello. Mama Rosie, you're a celebrity. The people love you. Mm-hmm. I know what I'm giving you for Christmas. What did you? Oh, thank you for the kiss. Oh, thank you for the other kiss. What did you get me for Christmas? Yeah, we talked about this. We were going to exchange gifts. You are the gift? Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Yes, Mama Rosie is the best. You're the best, Mama Rosie. Yeah. Here you go. You go see the boys? That's cute. No, these guys don't do the clothes thing, man. They do not want to wear. Well, hey, Stark. All right, you two, you can come say hello. Okay, all right. There you go, buddy. Come say hello. Do you know what you want for Christmas? Cowman. Yeah, your brother's allowed. Cowman. Your brother's allowed. Knock it off. Your brother is allowed to be up. No. Quiet barks. Quiet barks. Quiet. Jealous of his brother, but he won't get up here himself. Do you know what you want for Christmas? Fame and fortune. Gold. Biscuits. Cookies. Oh, yeah, it's treats for Christmas. Oh, buddies. Is that what you want for Christmas? Cowman, knock it off. Here. I'll leave it up to the chat. Do you guys think I should give the noisy dogs a treat? See, they got real quiet when I said that word. All right, get down, Rosie. Get down here. Sit. Thank you, Rosie. Sit, Stark. Good boy. Sit, Cowman. Good boy. Mama Rosie, sit. Good girl. Stark, sit. Good boy. Cowman, sit. No more barking. Thank you, sir. They really are good dogs. Can you imagine I fell down a well? That'd suck. I said give a treat. I did give a treat. I think I want to put... I'm going to bring you guys down here with me. I feel like I should make this into... Instead of just doing like gray for concrete or whatever, because it's got detail to it. I did zip ties there on the front for, dry brushing and stuff. It's going to make those pop. Maybe I do it like this is some type of connected metal for this walkway, or maybe it's two pieces of metal. All right. I got an idea here. Okay. What I'm doing right now, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'm just segmenting this up to make it look like there's metal panels here that are put together to make the surface that these walk on. Maybe the base can be made out of stone, but the top's, protected with some metal or, some type of material other than like a stone substrate. Or even if they're not walking on it for whatever, like patio surface or whatnot. There we go. So what I'll do is, yeah, all right, cool. So we'll just keep that line. I'm just thickening the line. Thick. All right. Go ahead and plate metal seems to be the one to go with. Wow, fam, that was a lot of paint. Yeah, what are you going to do? It's heavily pigmented. And this will get so many coatings of weathering powders, things like that. There's still a lot of wash in there. It's all good. These metals will look, aged sufficiently. This wood surface isn't too grainy on the top, but it's got a couple of like pockmarked pieces because this was a rescued piece of wood, repurposed. So when I do washes and stuff, it'll all sit in there. And we'll just drag that along there. Okay. And I'm just dragging this brush along here, trying to follow that line, leave a little bit of a gap there. And I'll go in and neaten that up a bit. But using that pencil mark that I thickened up as kind of like my guideline of like, hey, this is as far over as this line can go. So that it creates the panel lines. And I could probably like alternate. You guys have seen, oh, there's a little gap. I'll just, good enough. We'll come back. Like I said, I'm going to neaten that up, but I've got various silvers, metallics, and I'll come in here and I could add some variants and gradients if I wanted to. But we'll see. Don't even know if I'll put any rivets on here or not. I haven't even thought of a guardrail yet. Although I do love the rivets on that. I love the look and texture. We'll see. Kind of flying by the seat of my pants on this project here. Just making sure that I give myself a little bit of space there. Get some paint on my Venom shirt. Yeah, like I was saying about this shirt earlier, I got this shirt probably about 5 years ago. It was after my girlfriend stopped working at Hot Topic, or not Hot Topic, Jesus Christ, Think Geek. But we went in there and I happened to come across that shirt, and they were having one of their famous t-shirt sales where it's like you buy one shirt and you get 14 goddamn shirts for free. And I'm a sucker for a black t-shirt. I'm a sucker for Venom. So it was just like the perfect storm of, okay, famine, but buy that. And I got it. And it's a good shirt. Now it's got paint on it, but what are you going to do? Most of my shirts do have paint on them. Thank you. And what's funny is I actually do have a painter's uniform that I was going to use for all my videos on this channel. And I just haven't used it. I think I used it for a couple of live streams where I was a guest. So maybe I need to bust that out and maybe stop, getting paint on perfectly good shirts that I, maybe paid decent money for. Like I said, I bought one shirt and got 14 of these goddamn things for free. Anybody else working on anything tonight? Dogs. Let's see, we got a comment here. Not working on anything. Here's a painting up a Greedo not to look like Greedo. That's awesome. Here's a tip for you, Bjorn. And you might already do this. This is just crafting tip. Hot water from the tap, as hot as you can stand it. Fill a bowl. Place your spray paint cans in there. Let them sit. Take them out. Shake the shit out of them. Put them back in that hot water. Let them sit. Then when you take it outside, that paint will spray much smoother. Work out really well. Highly recommend that trick. Power of the Force Greedo, black and gray. Hey, that's the ticket, man. Get the cheap ones and use them for background stuff. Yes. We love a drunk Trandoshan. That's what's up. I've got some cookie dough made up. I've got to bake some cookies. I'm going to do those for Christmas Eve, I think. We'll see. We'll see how they turn out. All right. Delivery set. Raptor, the truck with the claw on it. Or do you mean the container set? Also, for anyone looking for the Lex and Tim 2-pack for the kitchen attack set, they are showing up at TJ Maxx for $9.99. I already bought like 4 of them, so I don't need any more of them. Yeah. Some of the pirates from the Book of Boba Fett, or excuse me, The Mandalorian would be great. I thought for sure we were going to get that green swamp guy, the pirate captain. And then I was like, okay, that we'll get his henchman there that left him. And we didn't. I'm still confused as to why. Certainly, at the very least, more aliens. You know, the container set. Okay. Yeah. That guy was neat. Like he was different. He was an original look, you know. I could have made an old Greg custom out of him. You ever drank Bailey's from a shoe? Yeah. Yeah. I remember a lot of the figures that I got from my local pharmacy were, you know, rando background figures because they were producing every damn character that ever was made, ever in Star Wars. And they were just like background character, Cantina alien, you know, torture, didn't matter. They made a figure of it and it was great because you could get it and it came with like a little film slide. You remember those? Like the stupid Power of the Force film slides? And I'm curious, like there are just certain characters too, and this ain't me dogging Hasbro. I don't want this to become a famine shits on Hasbro show, because it's not, because Hasbro, I think, does a fine job for what they do, with what they do. They just could do more, and people would be happy with the more. But like, why do we not have 1/18 scale Cobb Vanth? Why? There's no reason for that. There's not a single reason in the world that we don't have a 1/18 scale Cobb Vanth. But we've got 3 goddamn Lukes from Mandalorian in the meantime. And again, this isn't famine hating on Hasbro Story Hour, because I do appreciate what Hasbro does, and they are, you know, doing a really good job. Like that Chrysanthemum figure is rapidly becoming a top figure for 2023 for me, but the price hurt a little bit. I'm hearing, yeah, Rogue One characters are missing. I'm hearing that one that was they just found it in the system might be Cobb Vanth, but I feel like that's just wishful thinking. I mean, I'd love for it to be true. Oh. But until I see it, you know, as a reveal, you know, I'm not gonna put too much stock in that, you know. And I'll be the first to tell you, I've got a mighty crush on Timothy Olyphant. I've loved that man and his acting, you know, since I saw him in Deadwood and Justified and The Crazies. Like, he's a man of so much talent. Snowflakes outside the door meowing. Oh yeah, Justified was a tremendous show. Tremendous show. Haven't watched the new, I know it's a spin-off, but is it like a mini-series or what? The, Wild Jungle or whatever the hell it's called. Haven't gotten a chance to watch that yet. Oh man, Deadwood is fantastic. You want to talk about an all-star cast all the way. Even their guest stars were phenomenal. Fucking Powers Booth is in it. Shane, help me out, chat. Ian McShane, there it is. Like, there's just all-star cast on that show. Phenomenally done. If you like Westerns, Timothy Amundsen is also in it. There you go. Deadwood is about Deadwood. It's about the town of Deadwood and its founding, and Timothy Oliphant plays a man who's moved there to settle the town and basically finds himself at the center of the things happening in the town. And it's a damn good show. Yeah, Deadwood is really good. 3 seasons, 1 movie. And there's plenty of swearing in it if you like swearing in your Westerns. One of the funniest days of my life is my old roommate. I brought home the seasons. And so he's like, oh, I'll make some food. We'll sit and we'll watch. And he got like 1 episode in, and he's like, boy, what's the name of the show again? I said, Deadwood. He goes, oh, they should have renamed it Cocksucker the amount of times that they say it in this show. So it's literally like, Rosie, what are you doing? Every person in the show, they're like, this cocksucker over here. And the women are like, yeah, this cocksucker over there, blah, 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 blah. And it just absolutely cracked me up. I was dying. So yeah, if you like swearing in your Westerns, they got plenty of it on Deadwood. Yeah. And I'm glad that networks like A&E and FX are now realizing that because they are allowed to use an F-bomb in their shows that are rated M, they're starting to utilize that, because there are plenty of real life situations where someone will say the F word and it's not out of place. Whereas previously it'd be the most realistic situation in the world where somebody should say motherfucker, and instead they'll be like, Hoover Dam! Ah, son of a gun. Yeah, they are. Deadwood is streaming on HBO, in case anybody is, doesn't want to pick up physical media, or they don't have access to the physical media. It is streaming on HBO. Bjorn, I'm guessing you said you have the series. I see we're missing a letter here. So you either hate the series or have the series. I don't think you hate the series. I'm going to guess that you have the series. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. I don't like, that's actually one thing that I don't like swearing in. is Star Wars because it now seems so out of place. So when they said, when Poe was like, all we've got between us is, you know, our blasters and one Jedi Knight and a big ass door. And I was like, it felt so weird. You know, it didn't fit there. You know, no one had said ass before in Star Wars. And it felt so out of place to me. That's really the only gripe that I have about the writing on those, was the inclusion of a swear. Just didn't. That was weird. It might have been funny. But it's a Star Wars. Doesn't need swearing. Yeah, hell is fine. You know, they said damn. I think, you know, damn is also fine, but just like, you know, there was this big push. I remember them talking about there was the option that they were going to say fuck the Empire in Andor. And like, no, because at no point in Star Wars had anybody ever used that, not in the OT, not in the prequels, not in the sequels. So it would have been really weird, really, really weird to just drop that in for the shock value. And I'm glad that they didn't. Hey, could you lick your leg a little quieter, ma'am? No? Okay. Yeah. Dank Farrik, Carabas. You know, that's one of the reasons I love Firefly is, you know, they use the Mandarin and Cantonese swears, and it made it feel as realistic as it was. It felt like another universe. It felt science fiction-y. It didn't feel like, you know, yeah. But I will say, whenever Chopper swears, that little guy is swearing. He is saying swear words, and they carefully edit it. But I've heard that guy drop some F-bombs. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. I think what I'm going to do here is, once this dries, you could see the pencil lines in there. I'm going to push in again with the pencil and kind of score those deep. That way, when I do a wash over, it falls into the cracks, and I think that'll be that. I'll also use a awl or something to push a couple of bolt marks, so maybe it looks like it's fastened down to this thing, whatever this is. Okay, we're going to do use these 1, 2, 3 blocks to keep this off the cutting mat while I do a little painting here. Oh yeah, Chopper would be a nightmare. He'd be getting into all sorts of trouble all the time, doing things he's not supposed to. Probably get you killed. But I love him. He's adorable. Absolutely unhinged little droid. Chopper is a war criminal. That is true. But here's the thing, in Star Wars, and I don't know the answer to this because it seems like there's a couple of droids that are just reprehensible. Is he accountable for those war crimes because he is a droid? I don't have the answer for that. I don't think it's ever been addressed, even in Legends. Right? There was, the IG droids and HK. He was a fucking nightmare. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Chopper's killed. I think they posted his official kill count, and it's like more than Luke with the Death Star. Yeah, because Chopper's completely unglued. Chopper will throw you out of an aircraft with him just to ensure you get thrown out of the aircraft. That's like terrifying, right? This little dude would yeet you out of a plane with him attached just to ensure that you actually go out the hatch. Because he's like, I've got rocket packs. My friends will save me, maybe. If not, I still got you. And that's what we love about him. At least that's one of the things Famine loves about him. Like I'm convinced if Ezra wasn't force sensitive, if he was just along to help them out, even as helpful as he was, that droid would have gotten him killed. Because he would have said something and put that droid into a situation, and that would have been it. Chopper would have pushed him, taken him right out. Yeah, pretty much, Bjorn. He could survive in space. He'd be like, Alexa, play Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster by the Ghetto Boys as he was falling through the sky. And that would happen. And if anybody has one of those and I just said that out loud and it started to play that, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's a great song. Okay. I think I'll paint these three panels, and then I'll make this like a stone texture just to give the illusion, maybe from some shots from below, that that's stone and these are attached to it. Why I want to do that, I don't know. But it just feels right, Bri. Feels right. So I received a package today from a friend of mine, Jess in Arizona, and I did not expect anything in the mail. So I was like, oh, weird. And I open it up, and it's a floor mat for the front porch that says, don't let the cats out or the cops in. It's the best goddamn floor mat in the world. I laughed so hard. Oh, I love it so much. So thank you, Jess, for that. If you're watching by chance or if you're watching my replay, that was a really great gift, and I do appreciate it. Okay. Miss Snowflake is meowing at the door, so let me let her in here. Go on. In. Come along, man. Come on in. on, baby. Come on, big girl. No, you're going that way. Come on. I'm going to shut the door again. You coming in? You coming in? All right, you sit there. Be cute. Love you. I guess she didn't want to be on camera today. What a lovely cat. Hey, Howdy, you have a great night. Thank you for coming through, man. It's good to see you. We'll see you on Friday, brother. We're going to see him Friday on World Makers Consortium, where you guys are going to see, like I said, the new unveiled gimmick. And I dropped that bit of lore a few weeks ago. There were some clues there. Some clues in the post, some clues in the picture, some clues in the bits and pieces of lore I've been dropping in these chats. So tune into that. I'm excited to show off. I hope you guys will tune in. I know Bjorn's already set up in the parking lot. Tank, that'd be great. We would appreciate you being there. Almost done with this plate, and then I can switch to like a stone color. I'm going to rotate this just a little bit here, make my life a little easier. Small shack at a pizza box. It's nice. Yeah, it's, we were going to put some hay out there for you too if you wanted to use that as insulation. Just no smoking in the pizza box tent, apparently. Okay. And let's see, use no, I don't want satin. Yuck. Yeah. We'll go with the stone that I'm using in other spots. Some terracotta. And I'll do a little bit of linen. And these are just folk art plaid paints. Terracotta and linen. Okay. Basically, I just mix them up, blend them, and paint it on. And I could have textured this one with a little bit of sodium bicarb, baking soda, but I didn't. Because what I'm doing here is I'm putting the paint on a little thick. And what I'll do is I'll let it sit for, I don't know, a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And then I'll come back in with the brush and I'll stipple it and give it some texture. And this way, when I add washes to it, it will seep into those areas where there's all those raised little peaks and create a really cool effect It adds some variation. It adds just a little bit of variation in the texture. Toilet paper rolls are good for making boxes. And boxes are good for making stuff. Bjorn, you might like this channel I follow called Camping with Steve. It's this dude, Steve Wallace. He's a Canadian YouTuber, and he does a lot of stealth camping and like makes tents out of like weird things and shelters out of weird things. You might like that. He's currently down right now with the flu, but hopefully he gets better soon and is back out there camping. But yeah, Steve Wallace, Camping with Steve. Very fun channel. Okay. Get that out of there, and then we're going to come in with a different brush to do the stippling, which we're going to use this roughed up makeup brush. It's dry. Oh, Bjorn watches Camping with Steve. Awesome. I'm not liking the texture that's leaving. But maybe we use Oh, good. 3.75 seen Camping with Steve too. That's awesome. I'm glad that he's getting seen by. I mean, he's got 1 million some subscribers, so it's not like he's hurting for viewership. But I always like to support good channels when I can. He does some really wholesome content. You know, teaches you stuff not to do. Saves you all the what if of like, oh, I wonder if I could build a tent out of, bagged onions. Like, that's a terrible, terrible example, but you get my point. Like, he saves time on dumb ideas doing it so that some people don't have to. And I think that's really cool. Really fun. Because he does it in a safe, a way that's safer than if you were put into a jam and you had to do it yourself. So got that. Gave him a little texture. And now I'm going to let that dry. And I think I'm going to give this shirt bonder, absolutely, I think I'm going to give this thing an A+. The fact that it's cordless, the fact that it's got that precision tip, that is the most consistent bead I've been able to squeeze out of a glue gun. The fact that it also can be a corded hot glue gun is great. The little stand to catch the drips is amazing. That's handy. So I recommend this thing. I would get another one if I needed to. Hopefully I don't ever have to buy an extra one. And if I do get another one, it's going to be an extra. So I have two. I'm a big subscriber to the 2 is 1, 1 is none camp. And yeah, that held that trim right on there. No problem. That trim's on there pretty damn good. I don't think it's going anywhere. And I'll be able to continue this project. Maybe I'll use hot glue to attach some posts and stuff and get this thing set up. I'm really looking forward to Friday's show over on the World Makers Consortium. We're going to be Famine, do you have any other merch besides stickers and the book? Currently, I do not. There are more stickers coming. I just have to submit 2 designs to my sticker maker and have my order placed. As far as shirts go, that is something that will be coming up. As far as toys, I don't have any toys developed yet. Maybe one day. There might be something in the works. We shall see. But currently, I mean, and the Patreon the tasteful photos on Patreon and OnlyFans. I do have a Ko-Fi. There is going to be a Patreon coming out in January. I don't want to say get a purple shirt. If I do anything, it's going to be print on demand, and they will likely be able to select your shirt color. So that'll be on you for the logo. And I appreciate that, both of you. Thank you. But like I said, looking forward to Friday's show, showing you guys Gimmick, what's happened, what's changed, all the differences and the nuances in the design. So I hope you guys will certainly tune in for that. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up now, get cleaned up, feed these dogs, play with Snowflake for a little bit, and try and get some sleep. So if you guys need anything from me, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at FaminStudiosX. If you'd like to contribute to the channel, ko-fi.com/FaminStudios. If you want stickers, you can hit me up. I have the vinyl Jackalope stickers, 2 for $5. I also have copies of Tales of the Undead, so you can get that. Otherwise, be well. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button on the way, guys. Take care, as always. Too sweet me. Boom. Be well.